So, hey, Jack Green, we are now on week 9. Can you believe it?
A lot of content, isn't it? It's been a lot of recording. I've really enjoyed it. We were just talking, weren't we, about how proud we are of this, and I'm really pleased with everything that's come together, and a few more weeks to go as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, this week is all around helping others. And I guess it's quite interesting for us, isn't it? Helping others we know is good for our well-being, and we kind of do that in our jobs. So we kind of get a strong sense of doing good and helping others by virtue of being a campaigner and a consultant on well-being. But what's your perspective on that? Have you noticed since you've, I guess, started helping others professionally more, Jack, that that's had a positive impact in your own well-being?
Hugely, and I think the reason we started this was through purpose and wanting to help people, and we've talked about purpose a lot, and we'll talk about it in the future. But for me, it's all around helping others, and I've always, do you know what? Especially when I've struggled with my mental health, I've always kind of gone towards helping others. Sometimes it's through a face this fact of not wanting to deal with my own. It's
Yeah,
easier to help others, and you want people not to feel how you feel, which is probably why I got into this in the first place.
yeah,
But it's always given me a lot of joy, especially when it's something that's random. I do lots of things to help other people, but they're things that are very much part of my routine. But actually, those spur of the moment things where you can make someone's day, you really get that benefit back. I'm sure you've felt that many times.
yeah. Definitely. And I think it's those random acts of kindness, have a really positive effect. But yeah, there's been a lot of sort of academic studies on actually doing good and helping others will give us a boost in our well-being, and we don't need to feel guilty about that. It's okay, that's okay to accept that feel-good factor of doing good. And I think actually it doesn't necessarily need to be sort of volunteering or something structured. It could just be you know, sending a postcard to somebody who is on their own right now, or it could be, just that giving someone a smile who's a stranger and bringing a bit of joy into their world. Um, but I've definitely noticed the difference in, and it is linked to purpose, since I've become, a campaigner and helping others in what I do professionally. My own instances of depression and low form, he says, with a 4 out of 10 in the background, have been reduced. And I think that if we can just try and build that into our weeks, our days of doing little things to help other people, I think that can just add to just all the positive stuff that's boosting our own form.
Yeah, and also it's exactly what you said there in terms of little things. It doesn't have to be something grand, and you don't. If I'm donating to charity, it doesn't have to be all my savings, to do that. It's all those little things that will add up, and it's the same way that we talk about overwhelm and all these things that can seem bigger, and we always have a perception that things are greater or better than they actually are. Which I'm doing, a lot of research and studying myself at the moment into our mindset and how we view things. And actually, those little things can make such a huge difference. I think previously we talked about how I say hello to everyone or good morning when I'm out on a dog walk.
Yeah.
And in this country, you look like a right weirdo doing that. People think it's
Yes.
really strange because whereas when I lived in Florida, it was completely different. Everyone's talking. But, that could be one person who's just, they've had bad news or something and they're on their way to work or wherever it might be. And you might have just made them feel like a human being.
Yeah.
And that might make all the difference to their day. So it doesn't have to be anything big and grand. It can just be nice, simple, small things that you might not even think anything of.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's right. And when I had a good chat with Math Potts in the week on connection, and his movement camarados is all about facilitating connection. But one of the things he's found is that when people are really struggling, he'll often ask them for a favor, and it's almost sort of helping others in reverse. It's facilitating that feel good factor of somebody then helping him out. So he might be really struggling, but what he's done with that is given them a sense of purpose. It's taken their mind off their own struggles and actually got them to proactively help someone else, help him in that case. And I really like that, and it can be really small, but I think it can show that even at the someone who's in the depths of a difficult period of time, just doing something for someone else can give you a bit of perspective and take you away from that. And I thought that was a really cool thing to do. And he said he's seen that with some of the most challenging people he's met, that's the one thing that sort of got through to them to actually give them a boost.
I love that. That's like reverse engineering all that we know. I wish my brain worked that way and was as creative as his, because that's just brilliant. It's so simple but works, and it's something I would personally never ever think of. I'd be like, oh, I'm very rules and this is how it's done, so I won't move from that. So no, I love that. In terms of, we talk about volunteering as an option, and it's not always the one you have to go towards, but you've seen it with lots of corporates. Lots of corporates have their connection with a charity or with a movement, or even within their policies, that you can have 1-2 days to go and volunteer. So I think that's something to consider. Your corporation might do that, they might not. Every single one's different, but if they do have a charity that you align with, then it's great. You'll be able to go and help them and connect also with people in your work environment possibly, and connect on this, or you'll be able to give them the time to go and help others, because businesses are becoming more and more aware of how this connection and this purpose is important to us.
Yeah, I think so, and I think taking advantage of that opportunity is important. Where companies do have that is make sure you do use those days, because you will receive the benefit in terms of increased well-being and a feel-good factor for what you're doing there. So I think that's a good one to look at. And again, if your organization doesn't have that, then maybe try and start something small, but this collective doing good in the world. And I think we have an opportunity going into 2021, and by the time a lot of people get to this part of the course, we will have started 2021. And the phrase that's coming to my mind is build back better. We have an opportunity to build back better. And I think having a more compassionate, a more caring community, a more caring workplace is one of the ways that we can build back better. And we were talking about it before on connection, as we've lost a lot of those touch points with people that we care about. Actually helping others, doing good, helping people through this transition, super important as we try and realize that dream of building back better, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, so important. And the thing that kind of came to my mind there was around community, and then it made me think about my area and that kind of area I live in, and the environment. And it means that I don't have to help people directly. I think sometimes we get confused on the helping others, that it has to be directly helping people, whereas the case of, as simple as it can be, first thing that comes to my mind is pick up some litter and put it in the bin, right? Yeah. Now, I'm not helping a person directly, but providing that I've now got a cleaner, better environment, other people are going to benefit from that, as well as myself. So it doesn't have to be directly with people, which obviously is quite difficult for a lot of us at the moment with restrictions around the pandemic.
Yeah. Obviously, helping the environment, doing what we can there is alongside mental health one of the biggest challenges that the human race is facing. So we can apply it there. So I think let's set a challenge to our warriors as we're at this part of the journey. As we leave this session, just think about what 1 or 2 things can you do this week that can help others or help the environment to do some good, and then take the time to notice and reflect how that makes you feel, because I think it'll make you feel more positive about yourself and your form. So 1 or 2 things, put them into action. Let's create this culture of care as we look to build back better in 2021. And as we're recording this, we're in the run up to Christmas here, aren't we, Jack? And is that a Christmas jumper? Can we have a quick look at that?
I love Christmas. Christmas is my favorite time of year. I love how much joy is around and positivity. So I also love dinosaurs. And what you might not see here, good for my microphone, it's a little kangaroo pouch. So when I have a drink, it can sit in there and I can still use my hands.
Fantastic.
I'm always thinking of the next thing.
Fantastic. So dinosaurs,
2021 kangaroo pouches.
Brilliant. Well, that's all good. So on that note, everyone, really good to see you at this part of the journey. Just think about how to help others, and look forward to building back better with you in 2021. Thank you so much.